So there's 4 overall modes that this bed is capable of. Sofa mode, table mode, single sleeper mode, the luxury bed. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at probably the most loved piece of my van build. It just got so many comments, so much love, and that is for the bed. So much love for the bed, and I did not expect that. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the full tour, you can make sure to check that out. I'm going to drop the link in the description and put it up in the corner somewhere so that you can get a lay of the land and just know the full van layout. But if it is in fact the bed that you are interested in learning more about, hang out here and we'll go over how it works. So there's 4 overall modes that this bed is capable of. That is born out of the necessity of the fact that this is such a small van, such a small space, that I didn't really have the luxury of having all of this functionality take up its own square footage. The philosophy I kind of have is that I'm rarely, if ever, trying to do all the things, all the functions in my van at once. So I'm like not trying to cook at the same time that I sleep, and I'm not trying to work at the same time that I'm trying to like cook or sleep. So although in another van you could live with another person and they could be doing something else, if you're solo traveling it, really think about how small can your space be, you know, build out for that kind of a space. The first mode, easiest mode to talk about, not really too much to it, is sofa mode. So I've got 2 sets of cushions which will play a role in the various modes that we have. The bottom cushion almost exclusively stays here, but this top cushion, the back of the sofa, in this mode is used to be the back cushion. So I use 2 of them, and I use this as just my like lounging mode. I can work at my kitchen if I want to, or I can even cook. Like if I'm cooking inside, this is how I'll have it set up. But I normally travel around with it like this. Alright, so the second mode is single sleeper mode. I take the back cushions off of the bed, and it leaves behind just the single cushion here. The width of this is a camping mat, so this is the mode that I will use if I'm ever trying to stealth camp. If I need to get my bike in here, that's real easy, and also like I'll normally like, get dressed like this so that I have enough space to be walking around. Yeah. Okay, so the next easiest mode to demonstrate is table mode. I have the cushions partitioned into 3 pieces, and if I'm gonna do just like the most basic, I put the small cushions on the side, put it off the side. I take the table, and so just to show you guys a little bit more how this is constructed. So this is just like a 25-inch metal table leg that I got off of Amazon, and it comes with 2 of these kind of like, honestly they look like a dog bowl. When people don't know what it is on my floor, they think that I have a dog, which I would love to have, but this basically is the receptacle for the table leg, and if we flip this over, then this side goes into the floor, and it's the exact same piece of hardware that's on the floor, and that basically allows the table to be set up. So one thing I will say is that because I have the center console be like a table, and then I sit on the cushions on either side and I put my feet down, that means that I lose the storage space as like the space in between where my feet need to go. I lose that as like a permanent storage space. I can't have drawers there, or I can't have like any other kind of like permanent storage. Even though I lose that space, I don't find it to be too much of a detriment because I can just put other things there. The only thing is then it gets like a little bit annoying when I pop up the table and kind of have to move everything out of the way. But honestly, the added functionality of having a table like far surpasses the loss of that like storage space. If you can make it work like this, that added functionality of having a really great workspace is just such a non-negotiable for me. Okay, so another question you guys had was about how the table like interlocks with the sides. The 2 cubes on the side that house either of the drawers, they're a little bit closer than the width of the table. So then when the table comes down, it just sits on top of that, and then the slats for the expanding bed are just adjacent to that. The dimensioning that I thought about here was that I wanted to be able to rotate it to create like a couch mode on the other side. So when you rotate it, it gives it like a nice bench, a nice working bench kind of booth feel. Honestly, I normally default to that dimensioning because then all I have to do is just throw one of these in my front passenger seat. If I put both of these on either side for my benches, then I'm left with getting rid of this big one, and that's just more of a hassle to throw in my front seat than just flipping this around and then throwing one of these in my front seat when I'm trying to be working. I will share with you guys some drawings of how everything's put together. I'll put like a link in the description to maybe like a Google Drive file or something like that, but happy to answer any other questions you have about dimensioning or like how all the pieces fit together. Alright, so the next mode that I'm going to demonstrate is the expanded, the luxury bed version, which in this van is a twin-size bed. I have found it to be very comfortable to sleep by myself, and also it's like pretty cozy if you want to have another person along, but not doable. But maybe not sustainable for the long term, but I have done like week-long sprints of traveling in this thing with another person. Alright, so another key factor of this table here is that I actually have this extra piece of wood on a piano hinge right underneath here that is holding on this like extra flap, and this is what allows the center part of my bed to open up. And I actually have 6 magnets here so that it holds in place, so when I'm traveling or I'm trying to use it in table mode, it just like clamps onto itself and kind of is like hidden under there. But when I'm trying to expand the bed, I'll pull this flap out, and you'll see me demonstrate that. I'll pull this flap out, and that makes it wider so that the twin size bed can be constructed. Okay. Alright, so for the dual sleeper mode, you gotta put all of the couch cushions back. And then what you do, maybe I'll take these cushions off so you can see just like a little bit better. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe I'll get another close up. But basically, the left and the right hand side of the bed pull all the way out into the hallway to expand the bed frame in a like temporary fashion. But then the magic is that this added piece of wood under here just folds out like this, and it comes to rest. And I've got a little lip like right here on the cabinet that it just sits on, and it's supported on this side with the table being under there. And then what I do after that is I take my couch cushions and I basically shove them in between the memory foam side up. Alright, so another piece of useful information I think I can share with you are the dimensioning of my cushions. So I have 6 different cushions, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the back for the sofa, which get brought down to be the cushions that expand the bed. And I really thought through the dimensioning here of like how multi-purpose I wanted them to be. I probably spent like upwards of 2 to 3 hours even just planning and then kind of like prototyping and filling it out and seeing if it's what I wanted, because I was making them myself, and so I wanted to be able to capitalize on that flexibility. So this is a 5-inch cushion that I've made. The bottom 3 inches is high density foam to really give you the support. It feels like a very rigid piece of foam, but it really prevents your body from just smushing through the top 2 inches of memory foam and onto the board beneath. I've seen so many van lifers that only have just like a couple inches of memory foam, and I'm like, how are you comfortable at night? You like sink through that in just a couple of minutes. I don't know, some people like sleeping on hard surfaces, but I'm not one of those people. So 2 inches of memory foam, cut up and then layered on top of 3 inches of high density foam. I'll put a link in the description for all these materials. But basically I made both my bottom cushions and the top cushions out of this kind of combination because they both will come together to create the larger bed. I did sew all of the fabric myself, and I also put zippers in. So there's 2 zippers that come apart here to allow everything to be washed. I've already washed it. It was actually when I came back from gutted because everything was covered in dust, and not just like my cushions, but like everything, including like the inside of my nostrils. The bottom cushions. So there's 2 different sizes. The small ones have a width of 22 inches, which is the width of a camping mat. 22 inches in width and then 17 inches in length. The 17 inches is so that when I separate into table mode, these cushions fit exactly behind it, so that from the front of this seat to the back of this cushion, 5 inches here is 22 inches, which is the width of those drawers and those like kind of cubicle things. So I didn't want my cushion to sit up like this because I felt like that was like too high and going to be blocking the window. So I have 2 of those, one for either side to make up the bench seats when I'm in like working mode. And that leaves for the bed a remaining, I don't know, I don't want to do that math in my head. It's 6 feet in total is the length, but basically another big cushion here. And the dimensioning that I thought about here was that I wanted to be able to rotate it to create like a couch mode on the other side. So when you rotate it, it gives it like a nice bench, a nice working bench kind of booth feel. All right, so now moving on to my back cushions. Again, I've got 1, 2, 3 of them. The smaller ones, the dimensioning here, all of them have, again, 17 or 18 inches of width. It's a little over 17, and that's because that dimension is exactly the width from this cushion to fit in to expand my bed. So the height of this is to be able to fill in that gap above the hallway of expanding my bed. So 17 inches here. And then this dimension is also 22 inches, and the reason for that is I wanted it to be the width of my sofa so that it could serve as backrests for when I was setting up in working mode. So that's kind of the reasoning behind the 22 by 17 inches here. And then I'm left with a slightly smaller middle piece here. Honestly, I will use this as the backrest for when I'm in working mode and I expand the other side that has that longer cushion. Then I will put this on the back just to serve as like a little bit wider of a backrest. So I hope that made sense. And if you guys want dimensions on this, exactly how much fabric I used and such, I'd be happy to share. So again, it's 5 inches high, and then the length and width of all of them are a little bit different to serve the multi-functions that I was thinking about. So, all right guys, well thanks for watching and hanging out here till the end. Please give this video a like, give us a subscribe if you want to follow along for any more content, any more Murphy tours of the way that I did things. Throw your comments and questions down below. I love talking and engaging with you guys, answering your questions. That really guides what videos I'm going to make in the future because I want my videos to be useful. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.